Hello everyone and welcome back to GM Details. Here is my test panel again, all swirled up in the sun, ready for a test on polishing pads, and it's got me thinking. One of the most asked questions on social media is, "Help! My product's dried in the sun." Well, today I'm going to show you what you can do about it. The products I'll be using today are Snowfoam, which will pretty much cover most detergents like shampoo, solvents like tar remover, fallout remover, and APC. Now, the test is by no means a reflection of these products being bad. I'm purposely allowing them to dry in the sun as a demonstration to show you what happens on the paintwork. Please don't try this on your own car, but if you've had to rush in the house because you've heard screaming or a neighbour distracts you for a chat, at least you'll have some foreknowledge of what you could do. AM tar and glue remover now. Review of some of the AM Details range still to come on the channel. But Alan, mate, look, you need to change these triggers on the tar remover. Really, honestly, get some decent ones. AM iron now. Quite an interesting fallout remover this. It's like a gel formula and bright yellow. And the APC I'm using is 10:1 dilution of Auto Smart G101. A very popular all-purpose cleaner. And just as I leave the panel to dry, I didn't realise how quickly the earth was turning that day and made the sun disappear behind the house, so I had to chase the sunlight around the garden. But before I move the panel, it's already apparent that the fallout remover is drying around the edges. And where has the tar remover gone? Some of the lighter spray on the APC, again round the edges, is already starting to dry there too. And after around 6 or 7 minutes, the fallout remover has already started to look a bit like a satellite image of the earth, and it has pretty much crusted over. This back to the Snowfoam, which you would expect really to have a longer dwell time, but you can just see in the centre that there's a little bit of drying going on there. And at 13 minutes, the Snowfoam pretty much looking like a weather map, and it's basically, with it being on the boot lid, it's more or less a horizontal panel, and it's pretty much stopped moving now, so we'll just wait and see how further that dries in. And at 15 minutes for the tar and glue remover, well, it's left its mark on the panel too. Hope that comes off. And at 15 minutes for the fallout remover, it looks like two crocodiles in the river. Can you see it? Let me know in the comments below if you do. Or what do you see? And equally with the all-purpose cleaner, you can start to see after 15 minutes that the salt's starting to turn that white colour. Interesting fun fact that these salts are actually present in some of your toothpaste. And I think it's safe to say that it's pretty much well dried onto the surface there. Don't rub it in. Do not rub that in. If any product is dried on your paintwork, don't. Demonstration purposes only, but get the crocodile. So I want you to answer me in the comments section. Have you dealt with this before? Have you seen this before? Has a product dried on you before? And really, would you panic at this stage? So we've had these 4 chemicals sat drying in the warm panel for just over 20 minutes in the sun. The liquid has all but evaporated in the heat, leaving behind what looks pretty bad and hard to remove, but it may just be as simple as re-wetting the area. Not with water, as water is, believe it or not a great wetting agent. You have to use surfactants, and what better surfactant is there for allowing a soak than Snowfoam? Now you could allow this to dwell for as long as you need to really, without getting back into the same situation again with the layer of snow foam that you've tried to re-wet the chemical and it dries again. So again, roughly around 5 or 6 minutes depending on the snow foam, and as you can see there, the fallout area is actually starting to change from the white of the salts that's in the chemical to the pink, so that looks as though it's been re-wetted quite well. And just with a rinse off with a garden hose, no pressure washer, you can chew it. But look at the dirt that's running off with obviously the solvent of the tar remover. That's quite interesting as well, but look how it's removed. The fallout remover, which had completely dried on that. I think that is quite astonishing. It also looks to have taken care of the APC residue on the far right of your screen. And with rinsing off to the left, it's not showing any water repellency, which might indicate some chemical residue. It seems on these chemicals, it's all it's needed. Now remember, this is a test on chemicals sitting on painted metal panels. Certainly if you allow chemicals to sit on rubber or plastic or delicate trims, it's a different matter altogether, so please bear that in mind. This is really if it's just left on the metal painted panels. And as the panel is beginning to dry, it should indicate any white residue or slightly rough texture, and it feels perfectly fine. Remember on the left hand side there, that was where we had the snow foam. Moving to the section with the tar and glue remover, again no visible results. And if snow foam or shampoo wouldn't remove it, another application of tar and glue and wiped immediately should be enough to remove any stains or residue left behind. But that looks fine. The next area was the fallout remover, and this causes a lot of problems when using these types of products. If used in the heat or direct sunlight, they can tend to dry immediately, and if they do, they won't work at all, so always work in the shade or a garage if possible. And no trouble at all with the APC side. And just to confirm that AM iron works perfectly well, I've moved the panel back into the shade and applying it directly to the boot lid. So in the shade, and even with the film sped up 10 times, it's working as it should and dwelling nicely. It doesn't seem to be all that fast reacting, so a long dwell time would be crucial to its performance. It's also interesting that the panel has picked up quite a lot of iron fallout from winter in the garden. Those telltale purple flecks indicating where the microscopic iron particles are. With wheels, it's a little more difficult. If you've been silly enough to get them cleaned at a drive-in car wash, chances are they will have been washed with acid, and with your wheels being hot, good luck with a claim there. If you've applied an alkaline cleaner yourself, for instance, and a stain has dried, don't worry, reapply some of the same wheel cleaner, agitate straight away with a brush or a cloth, and rinse immediately. That should remove it. And acid stains on polished rims, well, I'm afraid it might be an expensive refinish job. So that brings us to the end of the video, and as I finish off preparing the panel for polishing, I'd just like to remind you that preparation and planning is key, as well as following manufacturer's instructions on labelling. Don't work out in the sun if you can help it. If not, work on small areas at a time, and best to keep rinse water handy at all times. I hope the video has been of some help to give some confidence to use these products and possibly understanding the limitations. Not all products might react the same way, and be very cautious about leaving any chemical applied neat onto plastic lights, bumpers and trims. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section. Feedback is always appreciated, and until next time, take care, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Happy detailing!